All right, let's dive right in to ChatGPT and email marketing. When ChatGPT first kind of hit the scene openly, it made me really nervous because as a writer, I was like, oh my gosh, how is this going to impact? Everything's going to be fake, but I have learned to really embrace it. And I'm going to share with you today some of the things that are in the Hey Girl You Can ChatGPT marketing guide, email marketing guide that dropped into the membership this month. So as we're getting started, if you are watching live, drop a hi. Let me know where you're from. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of our QR codes. So this is our community. This is where you can actually get the membership guide or the chat email marketing guide. This is how you can get connected to our community. So if you want to check that out, that's there. And if you're looking for our events, you can click here. I'm going to go ahead and add our URL so that you guys, as we're watching, you can get plugged in and learn more about membership. But every month we have resources that go into the library. And so this was the July resource. And so I'm just going to give you like a little sneak peek of what it looks like. Let me go in here, membership, and then I will add that for you guys. So tell me where you're coming from. Drop your, where in the world did you find me? Let's go ahead and add that here, and I'll put this on instead. And we're going to dive right in. Oh, that looks so weird, doesn't it? Look how that came up because it's too long. We'll just put members. There we go. We'll put members there. All right. So this is really, if you've ever kind of sat there and I took notes, so you guys are going to get all my notes, and I'm actually going to show you a little bit of the guide too. So this is kind of for the person who, you sit there and you're like, I have to write an email. I don't know what to say. Now I will tell you, I was not really into email marketing because I thought social media was the way to go, right? I was like, oh, you have to build your following, you have to build your following. I have really learned that that is not necessarily the case for everybody, because here's the reality is that you can have a huge following, but you don't own your social media. And this is what happened to me with Clubhouse. And for many of us who were like OGs on that social audio app, that was actually where Hey Girl You Can was founded. And I had, thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, and was one of the, larger creators on the app, and it was really a matter of just right timing, right place, all that kind of thing, but was one of the early on creators. Well, Clubhouse decided that they were going to change how they were doing their, following and everything. And literally overnight, I logged into the app and I went from having all of these followers to like 1,000, because they had completely changed what they did. And I understand they're just vanity metrics, but the reality is vanity metrics count, right? They count. They brand sponsors look for vanity metrics. People look, when they're looking to work with you, look at vanity metrics. And it was crushing. It was after having spent so much time building these. And I have a friend who had built a huge Facebook group. I mean, we're talking like hundreds of thousands of people. She was running a 7-figure business out of it. She posted something during COVID that Meta didn't like, and they literally shut her down, transferred her profile, shut down her group. I had another friend. She runs an in-person networking organization. It was local. We did all these events. She got hacked and she got completely kicked out, couldn't get her account back, couldn't get back into her group. She ended up moving her group onto a different platform that she pays for. So you don't own your social media, and you do own your emails. Like, nobody can take your emails away from you. And that's why email marketing is really important if you want to be connecting with people. So the key is that you need to have consistent email marketing. You need to constantly be in front of people in a way that's not creepy, but in a way that your emails are also ones that people want to open. I mean, that's the real name of the game, right? Is how do I write an email that when you open it, you go, this was really great. I want to make sure I don't miss another email. I want to make sure I add this person to my saved senders list, right? And it's also, and even for me, and I like to write, it's tough sometimes coming up with constant things to write about. So the guide that's in the membership is really to kind of give you a springboard. If you think of it as like a diving board, it's a place to start from. All right. Because writing takes mental energy. It really does, right? Crafting, writing, that takes mental energy. And if you are writing 2 emails a week, that's a lot of mental energy, right? And what happens with women entrepreneurs, and one of the reasons people are attracted into our community, and I say this more now than ever before. So when I started my business, I had my first business right back 28 years ago. I had, one role. It was to sell products, right? And to train a team of people. Oh my gosh, in today's world, I say this all the time, I get so overwhelmed because now we have to be a social media manager. We need to be a content recreator. We need to be able to, post things on YouTube and manage our Facebook group. And we have to be able to handle all these apps like, Zoom and run this kind of event and do, this kind of reach out. And then we also have to be able to do email marketing, and we need to be able to do funnels, and we need to be able to do campaigns, and we need to be able to do launches. And it's like, oh my gosh. And so I don't know about you guys, but do you ever feel like I am just juggling so many hats? And so ChatGPT can kind of just help that you're not juggling so many hats. Okay. And so let's kind of talk about some of the things that are in here. All right. So again, I want you to kind of think that, and I'm going to show you how to do some prompts. I'm going to give you some key little prompts so you can get a little taste of what's in the guide. But I'm also going to go on to share with you about how to create like your brand voice, how to make it really sound like you. Okay. So that it's not, again, you don't want ChatGPT to replace you. And I do think this is going to become more and more common. I'm seeing this a lot on LinkedIn, actually. And I use ChatGPT all the time, right? But I see this a lot on LinkedIn where I'm like, I know that person didn't write, I read it, because ChatGPT does have a voice, and it has a voice that if you read it enough, you know what the voice is. So I think we have to be really careful that we're not replacing our voice with an automated voice, that it's still our voice that's coming through. I have no idea what's going on in the other room, if you guys can hear all that. So let's talk about some things ChatGPT can do. It can help brainstorm subject lines. It can help nurture your emails, kind of craft them a little bit better. And it can kind of help plan out a lot of your welcome sequences launches. I use this a lot for welcome sequences. So if I have like a lead magnet. So for example, we have our 5-day resiliency challenge that you can get on my website. I have the 20 questions to change your life. I have the blueprint business breakthrough for women. So I have some of these lead magnets, and sometimes we use them here. And so if you want any of those, drop a comment. I will get you one of them. I will send you the link for those. But then I want to be able to nurture that email. I want that person who's never worked with me before to get to know me a little bit. Okay. And I want them to, have that email where it's sharing a little bit about me and how I might be able to serve them, and sharing them that, building that know, like, and trust that we want. Okay. And so it can really help. It's really helped a lot with those email nurturing sequences. All right. I'm going to text the people in the other room so they can be a little bit more quiet. I have no idea why. I could literally sit here all day and there's not a sound. And as soon as I go live, it's like everybody makes noise. Do you guys have that in your family? Well, I don't know if you go live, but do you have that in your family? It's crazy. Okay. So here's the mistake that most people make, is that they don't give it any direction. ChatGPT doesn't know what to do. You need to give it direction. All right. So let me give you a couple prompts. So a prompt might be write an email to re-engage my subscribers who haven't opened an email in 60 days. You know, how many of us have that? We have people on our email list. They're getting your email, but they're not opening them. And you're like, why aren't they opening them? Why is the point of them sending them these value-packed emails that I'm working on? They're not opening them. So ChatGPT can help you brainstorm what could you write that's going to help that person who hasn't opened in 60 days. Another one is give me 5 subject lines. And I always do this. I always ask for multiple versions. Give me 5 subject lines that sound warm, clear, and clickable for a new product launch. I don't want just one subject line. I want to kind of tinker it. Sometimes I'm like, well, I like this. And I'll talk to GPT like it's a person. I'll be like, well, I kind of like this, but I liked this word, but I liked this vibe. Can you give me 5 more? Okay, so this is a little bit closer. I like this, but I didn't like this. Can you give me 5 more? So I'm always asking for 5. That way I can start to choose the one that's going to sound the most like me, or I can start to take a little bit from the different ones and craft something that does sound like me. See, that's the real power. It's giving me a subject line. It's giving me brainstorming ideas of things that might work. And then I can take that and put that into my voice. Here's another one. Help me create a 3-part welcome sequence for new subscribers for my coaching business. And then it's going to help create that welcome sequence with 3 different parts. One of the things that I did was I gave it kind of like, here's a bunch of copies of my videos, here's a bunch of blogs. If I was going to create a welcome sequence to introduce a new subscriber to me and get them comfortable with like that I know what I'm talking about, how could I craft these emails and incorporate some of these blogs and videos, because I want to drive value in my email, right? I want to be like, hey, so here's something else I have for you, and here's something else I have for you. And it will help like make it so that it makes sense in a way that is not just throwing a bunch of blogs and throwing a bunch of videos or throwing a bunch of resources at somebody, but help me tailor it in a way that makes sense. Okay. So it's really about finding the right prompt. Let's talk about too, how to make it sound like you. All right. Because this is what's really key. And I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually go into, and I'll show you where it is. You can go into your ChatGPT when you open it up, all right, and you click on the top. Actually, I'm not sure how to do this on my phone. Let me see. Yes, I can show you on my phone. Okay, so when you click on your top there, okay, you're in there, and you're going to go here where there's the 3 lines, right, and then you're going to click at the bottom where it says your name. And then you're going to have all that personal stuff. I don't want to get my phone number in there. But one of the options there is going to say personalization. You can click on personalization. Okay. It's going to look like this. And you can actually go in here and actually, you know what? Let me see. Oh, it does. Okay. Yep. So we're going to say custom. I use it all. I don't use ChatGPT a lot on my phone. I usually use it on my laptop. But do you see here where it says customization? When you click on this, you can put in all of your personal information in here so that it uses this. Like it'll say, what should I call you? What do you do? What traits should ChatGPT have? Anything else you should know? I mean, look how much information I have given it about me. And I put in everything from my personality styles. I also put in like words I would never use. So, for example, I'm like, I would never say honestly. Like when people say, oh, honestly, it implies that you're not normally honest. I would never say things like, trust me. Again, it applies, you don't normally trust me. I don't use words like gem, treasure trove, passion, discipline, I see you, let's say this gently, like things that ChatGPT uses that are words that I would never ever use. I also gave it all my branding colors and my fonts for both my Hey Girl You Can membership and for my Tara's Voice website, so that if I needed to create a flyer or I needed to create, a digital asset, it knows exactly what colors and fonts and brands I should use. Okay. I put in like how I want it to see me. So, for example, I'm all about being relatable, authentic, and transparent. I want people to be seen, to feel seen and understood and valued. Like these are the core values for me. And then I gave it all of my accolades, things about me, what I do. So you can, by doing that, what it does is that you've created this kind of filter for ChatGPT. And then anytime you work with it, it's going to go through that filter and it's going to use that to help craft so that it's going to get closer and closer to sounding like you and your voice. Okay. Um, and this is really the magic. This is where this magic happens. So I could say, so for example, I use chat a lot for my social media prompts because I'm constantly trying to think of prompts. It's just like, oh my gosh. So what I will also do is I will take transcripts of stuff that I work on. This will be an example. I will download the transcript from this and then I will give that to ChatGPT. This way it has my words, my voice, who I am. And then it can craft a social media prompt based on me. It can help craft. I might say, for example, I just did a training on the DISC personality. So we'll use this one, right? So I might say, chat, I just did a talk about email marketing. Pull out the 5 key points that would be the most important to include in a blog. And it's going to read the transcript and it's going to pull out the 5 key points. Then I can take those and say, okay, now help me craft an email that would lead my subscriber to wanting to read that blog. All right. So let me show you, and I'm not super great with share screen on this because I'm not on Zoom, but let me go ahead and pull up our membership guide so you can kind of see here, and I'm hoping this is going to work. Let's see if we can find this. There we go. All right. I'm going to share this with you. So in our Hey Girl You Can membership, when you log in, this is where you're going to go. You're going to go under workbooks, and you can see all the different workbooks that are currently in here, and you're going to see the July drop. Okay. And here's everything that's in here. So it's got 100 plug and play prompts, tips to write emails that sound like you, ideas for automation sequences and A/B testing, so that you can really test out and see which emails get the best response. It has fillable worksheets so that you can actually apply this to your business, and then guidance for including open, click rates, all that kind of stuff. All right. So when you go in, you're going to click here to find the guide, and that's going to download it. Oh, and it's saying there's an error to open it. Okay, there we go. Now it's open. Let's go ahead and open this. I'm going to make sure that you guys can see this. So let me grab my, make sure, again, I don't use, I'm on Restream and I don't use it a whole lot for this kind of stuff. So I do want to make sure that that you guys can see what I am talking about here. All right, it looks like there's a delay, so it looks like you can see it. Let's see. So when you scroll through, you're going to have all this. This is what you're going to have in here. So you're going to have all of these prompts, all of these ideas of things that you can do. Personalizing email comments, segmenting your email list, dynamic content in your field, how to test for your subject lines, optimization, automation, setting up all of these, okay? Creating drip campaigns, using triggers and workflows. Oh, look, it looks like it doesn't let you open this. Okay, I'm stuck on that page. I'm scrolling through here. It looks like you guys can't see this. Let me see if I can open this a different way. Let me do a stop sharing and let me try to open it again in a different way. Okay, this looks like it will let me share it this way. Hopefully now you can see this. So this is what I'm going through. This, I'm looking at my live to make sure you guys can see it. This is what I'm going. So look at how many prompts are in here. Okay, look at how many things you're going to get, all of these prompts. All right. So you're going to get all of this, all these prompts that are in here: optimizing, testing, automation. I want to show you, if you scroll down, and just even look things here. Okay. Right. So create a 2-part meal sequence to thank a new customer and then offer a related product in a non-pushy way. And so it's even helping me think, like, I may not think to do that. I may not think to offer a related product. I might think, oh, I'm just going to send a one thank you, but not really a 2-part email. So it's just helping me think of more ways that I can connect through email. Okay. An event or webinar follow-up for people who didn't show up. Re-engage inactive subscribers, right? Tracking metrics, analyzing performance. And then in here, there even things like this, like I don't think about, like they can help you steer of spam filters so that you get seen. All right. So how do I keep my emails out of the spam folder? And it's going to give me some suggestions on how to make sure that my emails don't send up in spam. So this isn't just crafting the email. This is how can I use ChatGPT to level up my email. Okay. So you can use it on here. All sorts of best practices and tips, troubleshooting. And then in here, you're going to have a whole bonus section on how to make your brand voice sound like you. Okay. And it's going to give you all different ideas on how to teach ChatGPT to sound like you. If you're not sure how to do that, it's going to do that. It's going to help you. And then you're going to have a workbook in here that's going to help clarify your voice and really get you thinking about what are the phrases you use? What are the tones that you want to sound like? Creating your email. So you're going to have the actual workbook part in here on testing your subject lines, picking prompts that you want to try so that you don't just go, oh, this looks great, but you can actually start to take action, right? That's all what it's about. And then you get 100 bonus prompts for email marketing in here. All right. So I just wanted to show you so you guys get an idea of what the guide looks like, because it is so full of prompts. And I'll be really excited to see, what do you use? What are the ones that really benefit you the most, and what are the ones that you're seeing results with. And what's really fun is just playing around with it and trying it. I just talked to ChatGPT like I was talking to my virtual assistant, or if I was talking to my, email marketing strategist, which I don't have. So ChatGPT is it. And I just say, this is what I'm looking to do. So I think the more you can prompt it in who you are and in your voice, the more it's going to respond in who you are and your voice. The other thing is you can go back and you can search in chat. So, like, let's say I crafted an email for an email welcome sequence for, um, let's say it was for the class, How to Get Booked to Speak. Okay. So anybody who signed up for my How to Get Booked to Speak class, they got their email welcome sequence. I can go in and I can search. And let's say I've got all my different, things going on in there. And I'm like, okay, what was that email sequence? I want to tweak that a little bit. I save everything. That way I can go into search. I can search and put, How to Get Booked to Speak. And it's going to pull up that chat that we had with that email welcome sequence. And I can go back and say, okay, let's try this. Let's tweak this. Let's change this, so that you always can kind of go back and reference it. So that is definitely one tip. Don't clean it out afterwards. Okay. Really utilize it. But I will drop now. Again, this is what's in your membership. So if you are a Hey Girl, You Can member, it's already in there. The July drop is in there. You can go ahead. You can download it. It's under workbooks. If you're not a member and you're like, oh my gosh, I need these types of things, this is where you can grab this right here. What's really cool with our membership is that you get obviously access to all of the events, all of the resources, but whatever price you come in on gets grandfathered in for life. So obviously, as the library grows and as there are more resources in there, the value grows. But when you come in, you're there forever. So even as that grows, your membership never goes up. So I think that's one of the best parts about the membership. So if you have questions, though, feel free to DM me or drop a comment. I do read all of the comments, and I'm curious, how are you using ChatGPT? I mean, this is just for email, but there's so many ways that you can use it. I even used it to help plan grocery shopping, because we had at one time in our house, I was gluten-free, we had a vegetarian, we had somebody who was on a high protein diet. And it was like, and then we had, kids who have I don't eat this and I don't eat this and I don't like this food. And I literally gave it all of the restrictions and then was like, okay, can you plan out some meals for us? I mean, this is where you can get super wild and creative with ChatGPT. So I'll be curious, what are the things that you're using it for? But I think for email marketing, it is a way to stay consistent. It's a way to make sure that you're constantly in your subscribers' face so that they can see that you're reliable, you're dependable. The worst is when you don't email for a month and then all of a sudden, and I've been there, where you don't email for a month and then people are like, who was that girl? What was she about? Unsubscribe, right? Maybe you're getting a lot of unsubscribes. You can go in and feed the emails that you've been sending to ChatGPT and say, hey, why am I getting so many unsubscribed? Or I'm getting a lot of people opening them, but nobody is taking action. This is where going in and giving it this information, it can really help you. All right. So I hope some of this gives you some tips. I hope you're excited about the guide that is in the library, that you grab that you use it, and that you totally transform your email marketing. So that here's the thing, if you have a product or a service that you know is going to help other people, that is going to give them value, that is going to help transform their lives, give them the change that they need, solve the problem that they have, then you want that person to click on that email and open it, right? Here's the whole thing with anything that we do in business and sales, and I think this is really key. You have to really believe that what you're offering is benefiting the other person even more than it benefits you. I feel that way about our membership. I feel that the value that somebody gets from our membership is so much more than the price. Like, what they're getting is so much better than what they're paying. And that is why I can in confidence really be like, oh my gosh, you have to be part of this. If I didn't feel that way, then you would feel that, because there'd be a disconnect. It would be a lack of integrity. There'd be a lack of authenticity there, right? It would just be like, oh, I just want you to sign up for my membership. I think that the real key to successful people who have a product or service that sells really well is when you're like, I believe this can really benefit you, change your life, fill the need that you have. And that's how I feel about this guide. If you're like, I'm kind of stuck using email marketing, I was like, okay, I'm using chat a lot. There's so many great prompts in here that I wasn't even using. So grab the guide, use it, and then tell me the results that you get. And I will see you in a couple of days back here. So make sure you come back, subscribe so we don't miss each other. All right. And then if you want to be part of a membership, go ahead, click there. It is just heygirlyoucan.com. I should say that I didn't put anything on here if you don't have a way to click on that. Actually, I probably should put that on there. All right. That would be, I don't even know how to do that, but without a QR code, I think there's a way to do captions. There is. I'll add that really quick just so you can see. I probably should get better at this. Maybe in a year after I've been doing this for a long time, I'll be like, oh, look at how great all that stuff was. But this is just what it is. That's where you can go if you can't scan the QR code. And you can find out more about membership and joining our group. I probably should have done that a while ago, right? I mean, here's the thing, right? You just get better and better. And in a year, I'll watch these videos and be like, oh, Tara, what were you doing? But I'm showing up. And that's what I want you to do. Just show up. Just start showing up and you will figure it out. See you next time. Bye.